We'll start with first getting back to the key messages from the last session for some of the people who may not have been in the first session. So the first thing we said in the last session was set financial goals. It's really, really important to set goals. If we don't have the goals, we don't know where we are going, and then we will not be able to accomplish. I really think that having the financial goals, whatever those goals are, and ideally it should be that you have one long-term goal of 10 years or 5 years, and then also goals by a year or even 6 months, so that you're constantly looking, because whatever you focus is manifested into your life. If you're not focusing on something, it will not come, because focus channelizes your energy to take action towards that particular goal. Even if you miss it, you will be closer to it versus if you are not even thinking about it. Second, we talked about building financial literacy. And the reason for that was no one can take care of your money better than you, right? You can ask the relationship managers or experts in real estate to help you. But if you don't have the financial literacy or understand what are the questions that you need to ask and how are you going to hold these people accountable, you will not be able to get to the results that you so desire, right? Third thing we talked about was invest in quality assets and incubate to get a high return. So it's about quality assets. Even if you're purchasing real estate, it has to be location, 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 right? It has to be in a country where there are good laws that can protect your investment, right, in case certain issues happen. If it is on stocks, it has to be really, really good company that you're investing in, the people who are working over there, the quality of innovation that is happening. So quality asset will always protect you. Engage actively in the market. What it means is that you have to experience it yourself. You're not just passing it on to someone else to take care of it and become completely passive. You need to have, like, what are the triggers and what are the questions that you need to continuously ask to hold the people accountable for the job they are doing on your behalf. Copy the best. I give you the example of Manish Prabhai. He is one of the best investors on Wall Street. And what he did was he copies people like Warren Buffett. Then we said that develop an investment strategy. Each one of us has to have a strategy. What is your strategy? Is a strategy of diversification, a strategy of concentration into a particular stock or a mutual fund or thereabout? Or what are you going to do in terms of risk mitigation? How are you looking at the risk? What is your propensity for or appetite for risk taking, right? And what stage of life are you? You are into protecting your money that you have saved, or you can take more risk. Distinguishing between good and bad leverage, it simply means the debt. We talked about, like, a good leverage would be that if you are taking a mortgage to buy a house, that's a good leverage. Because if the property is good, it's a quality property and its price is going to go up in the future, then by taking the debt, you are, by investing a small amount, like 20% or 30 or whatever percentage you put in as a principal versus the mortgage that is given by the bank. And if the property goes up, the returns are much higher compounded, right? A bad leverage is one where you're taking debt on a credit card and buying Louis Vuitton, right? Or you're buying consumables or products, not the shares, right? So that can be a bad leverage because it's not helping you earn revenue. Let's do a quick quiz before we get started. It's the difference between your total assets and liabilities. So well done. Okay, question number 2. What is an asset? It is something you own. That is an asset. What is compound interest?
Okay, everybody answered C.
Superb, superb. That's the correct answer. And the last question, what is diversification?
So everybody has answered A.
Correct, absolutely right. Okay, now a little bit about why I wrote this book or the manuscript, which is ready. When you talk about financial freedom, the biggest link is that what are you becoming, right? What type of a person you have to be able to be earning or accumulating that much of a wealth, because you require skills, you require literacy, you require a different mindset. So that element, made me to think about it and to write a book where providing the people with exercises, with tips from people who have reached there, of what needs to happen in different elements of bringing it together over time. So this is why I put it all those things in this particular book. Now, when you think about joyful prosperity, I think of it like 4 ingredients which are essential for achieving joyful prosperity. The first one is time. We have limited time, but the time has something which is very good, which is that it is completely the democratizer. There's real democratization is at the time. Rich people, poor people, everyone from different countries have same amount of time, 24 hours a day. No one has more or less. It's how we utilize those 24 hours determine if we are living joyfully or not. Are we achieving the financial goals that we have or not? So second is rhythms of life. What are the rhythms of life? Life's rhythms harmony is found in the balanced act of of a balanced dance of the various rhythms. So, when you're social connection, they help you, to weave the fabric of your day. Emotional well-being will help you to strengthen. Spiritual well-being will keep you grounded. Creative well-being will inspire you. So you have different type of well-being: social, material, emotional, physical, and spiritual, right? And creative. At each stage of life, the need of each one of these is different. Like at my stage, I may have a different need versus another person will have a different need. And if you're able to accomplish those needs, you will become pleasant and you'll be happy, right? That's the idea. So second concept is about the rhythms of life. The third is a mindset. How do we have a value creation mindset? Because the more valuable we become is by creating more value for the other people. So how are we, even in our interactions, in our work, are we creating value for the other person? The more value we create, the more valuable we become. So that's the third concept. And the fourth concept is about having the right level of skills and the knowledge of things, like financial literacy could be one of them. So what you do is you have limited amount of time in the world. The currency of exchange is money. You need the skills to become world class, and you have to put all this into the pot of value creation mindset to be able to achieve joyful prosperity, right? So this concept, I wanted to have this coming together in terms of like people, as they're pursuing their financial freedom goal, they are able to live in a happy way on a real day-to-day basis. In this session, out of the book, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about financial freedom and joyful prosperity equation. We will do a readiness assessment on financial freedom to see where do you people stand and how different elements in the equation can be leveraged. Tips on investing in stock market. Few learnings from the questionnaires. Out of the 150 questionnaires, the learnings in the book, I have 10 learnings, and I'm going to talk about 5 of those in this session. Okay, so let's start. So we talked last time also, the essence of financial freedom is the ability to do what you want, when you want, where you want, and with whom you want to do it with. Financial freedom, what it does is it provides you that at any particular point in time, you're able to do what you want to do. And that you will only be able to do it if you have the money that is available to you. And number 2 is like how you're also maintaining your joyfulness and how much amount of money is needed to sustain that particular environment which gives you the happiness. So it all depends upon, it varies from people to people, and it depends upon what actually you crave and what you want as a family, and you're able to achieve that, right? If I go with the equation, now I want to tell you that this is not just algebra that I put in. This is the way I look at financial freedom. But the most important thing in this one is what you're becoming as an individual, right? So what would it take for you to reach that particular goal in terms of like the skills, financial literacy, and the mindset, right? And these alphas that you see are the motivation. So the equation is simple. You need skills, financial literacy, and a mindset. And each of these has an accelerator, which is the alpha or the motivation or the drive. So because they don't have the right level of financial literacy, not investing their money in the right way, may end up in a difficult situation, right? So it also depends upon the drive. Some people say, I don't want to do anything. I'm happy with my life. That's also a choice. That's not an issue. We are not saying that anything is right or wrong. It's a personal choice. But to do anything at any stage in life, you need to have the motivation and the drive to improve your skills, to improve your financial literacy and to improve your mindset. The goal of joyful prosperity or financial freedom is not about just getting to a particular sum of money. It's about becoming the person that I want to be, who's value creating, who is good in every interaction, who has the energy to do the things. And in the process, you become valuable for the others. And when you become valuable for the others will then reward you by offering you the top dollars. That's the idea of financial freedom. We have to use the time in living a great life. I always say that the only dream I have is like when I'm dying, I look back and say, I lived a great life. I don't have a problem. Okay, so let's do a self-assessment. So on each of these elements, like mindset, financial literacy, and skills, right? Rate yourself, your capability from 1 to 10, and assess your motivation. So, and the motivation scale is from 1 to 3. You say, I'm highly motivated, that's 3. I am like, okay, not very much pursuing the things that I put in front, so that would be 1. And you do it for each one of them. So because we said alpha 1 into skill plus alpha 2 into financial literacy plus alpha 3 into mindset. Now what you do is once you have like the ratings, you multiply your motivation. So what is your alpha? Whatever you gave the score, like example here, rating 1 to 10 times motivation 1 to 3, whatever you have assigned. So you have assigned skills, you gave it 7. And motivation you gave 2, then it becomes 14. On a value creation mindset, if you're saying skill is 6, motivation is 3, then it becomes 18. Financial literacy 8 and 1, it's 8. Got it? Mega mathematics, which is add all of them together. This is the scorecard. So if you're already between 45 to 90, you are doing very well. So it's very, very important to be very clear on what you want, what gives you the joyfulness, and then you work accordingly. Because at the end of the day, the job is not a job itself. It's more about earning revenue, right? So the first element of the equation is skills. And I quote Jim Rohn. He was one of the greatest personal development guru of the 80s. And he said that your net worth is directly proportional to the value that you create for others. The more valuable you are, the more would be your net worth. So, and the path to financial freedom in terms of the skills can be in different ways. Specialization. An example is athletes. Short put, you are running. You can be an expert in any of the specialized places, or sports. You can be an amazing player in cricket like Virat Kohli, or you can be an amazing tennis player, right? You could be influencers. Leadership, CEO, CFO, CHROs, chief marketing officer, and so on. If you're leader of a big company, you can make a lot of money through your bonuses, through your through the stock option and so on. The third thing is diversification. You are becoming an investor, you have investments in different places, you are a multifaceted performer, you can make a lot of money out of that. Or you are a technical mastery, which is excelling as top surgeons, successful fund managers, or you can be an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur, though the success rate of entrepreneur is very low, but if you're successful as an entrepreneur, you can make a lot of money, right? So that's the skills. The second part is financial literacy. And in financial literacy, we already talked about some basic concepts in the last session. And here I want to focus on investing in the stock market, right? So the first step in investing in the stock market is selecting the investment field. One of the things which I suggest is that the best is what investment interests you. Build knowledge. That is your biggest friend, your knowledge. So in there, what I'm saying is deep understanding of the investment landscape. What are the assets that are within that particular area in which you want to invest? And what are the collection of assets? Understanding of the assets you select for investing, or you are at a place where you say, okay, I can take more risk right now. It's not a problem. Then your profile and your investment will be very different, right? And the ability to analyze the asset, that's the biggest thing. If you're unable to do it, you can ask someone. If someone is doing it for you, then the banker is not just saying, okay, I have this. You say, help me, please analyze this. And I want to have that analysis available to me. This is an example of I did it a simple developing a portfolio. What I have learned about 25 years of investing in the market, what I believe is like, you need to have ammunition available to you. meaning like I don't like this 3%, 4% cash. I keep like at least 40% cash. And why do you keep 40% cash? Not because I don't want to be in the market, but when the market fluctuates and goes really down, that's the time to buy and buy good. So that's, you need to develop, if you're developing a portfolio, this is an idea. Then analysis. There are generally two ways in which you analyze investments. One is the technical analysis and the other is the fundamental analysis. I personally go for fundamental analysis, which is looking at the company, its balance sheet, its income statement, looking at macroeconomic conditions, what is the future outlook, and there are many analysts who are anyway covering all the stocks and you can see it, right? Technical analysis is more like, it's more mathematics. It's more about like you're looking at the candlesticks or you're looking at how the stocks have performed. And the logic over here of the technical analysis is that the movement of the stock price is determined by the collective action of the entire stock market. Then we talk about selecting the assets. And if this is personally like what, it's just a small excerpt of the request I make my RM to provide me with the details before selecting a stock. It requires a lot of analysis, and it's not that you have to do it yourself, but get these things, you need to be familiar with it, like what is happening, why. So knowledge, that's what I'm saying that we need to have. Another book that I would like you to read, if you're interested in intrinsic value, is The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. He's a guru of value investing, right? So when you're selecting the asset, the intrinsic value, this is the equation that he gave, because it's very difficult to get to the, to discount the future cash flows. It's not easy to get that. So he came up with an alternate way of developing this. So EPS is the earnings per share times 8.5. It's not 2.5, it's 0.5, which is P of a zero growth company. The companies which have a zero growth, their price to earning ratio will be 8.5. And growth is growth rate for the next 5 years, and 4.4 is the average yield of AAA corporate bonds. And Y is the current yield. So if you have this elements in the formula, you can easily construct that. And what this shows is that here you have the intrinsic value. This is the dotted lines, right? And you have the stock price, which is Mr. Market, is going up and down, up and down. This is how it goes, right? And the margin of safety is the green. So when you have the intrinsic value is higher than the market value, what does it mean? That the stock's value is higher than what the market is placing value on it. And this happens because of fear. People are saying, oh, the market will collapse, everything is going. So they're selling. So this is you can buy it at a discount. It's a beautiful place to buy. And that you can get to if you know what is the intrinsic value. And that's what financial literacy helps you achieve, to make better decisions. So let's look at an example. Hypothetical company ABC Corporation. Earnings per share is 5. Expected growth rate is 5%. Current yield is 3. Average yield generally remains the same at 4.4%. So it's like a constant. And you apply it in the formula, it comes to 135.67. The market value of ABC Corporation is 100. So you have a margin of safety of 26.3%. What does it mean? Is that even if your calculation is not right, you have a safety margin of 26.3%. The lower price will gravitate towards at least its intrinsic value, if not more. So you have a gap, like your market value is 26% less. So it's a discount. You're getting a discount of 26%, even if your calculation was not right. The more you have the margin of safety, the more protection you have. And then the sixth step in any investing is give investment time. Incubation. You need to keep calm. You say, okay, these things take time. We didn't become like the people we are in one day. It took time. But if you allow time, and if you can, that's why the younger you are and the earlier you start saving, you are more likely to reach your financial freedom target. The third element of the equation is mindset, whereas we develop a value creation mindset. Now, some of the things that we have to protect our mind from in our quest for joyful prosperity is procrastination. We say, yeah, we will do it tomorrow. Yeah, we have time. We don't know how much time we have. That's the one thing we don't even know. So anything that has to be done now. What does it say? To form a habit, you have to do it 21 times. After 21 times, it becomes a habit. And the first thing when you're like, which is a great example that is given by a lot of people, is that we all make New Year resolutions. And then you say, okay, New Year, I'm going to start my new diet and I'm going to do gymming in the morning. And the first day in January, in places where it's cold, you're nicely tucked into a quilt and the temperature is perfect. 6 o'clock, your alarm goes off, and then you say, oh my God, mind tells you, keep sleeping, we'll do it tomorrow. And then you said tomorrow never comes. And if you just go out and just don't listen to the mind and do it, you'll be able to start doing it. And once you get into the habit, then the mind will become your supporter instead of your nemesis, right? Second is self-doubt. I've met a lot of people, and sometimes it happens to me as well, that we say, I'm not that great. Someone else is better. Why? We were all born similar. It doesn't matter where we are from, or, we both all have two hands and a nose and eyes, and we are all the same. It's how we are using the 24 hours in a day which determine how good we would be. So don't doubt yourself. Never, ever doubt yourself that you are less capable than anyone else. This is a huge issue in terms of the value creation mindset. Never doubt yourself. And the third, which is the biggest thing, which I believe, is fear. Fear is the biggest barrier to growth. So how do we get to the value creation mindset? It's not going to happen out of nowhere. So you have to develop positive rituals like exercise, diet, breathing, becoming a zapper. What is a zapper? It's a concept I used to talk in P&G also, like sapper and a zapper. Sapper are people, after meeting them, you say, why the hell was I born? Why did my parents bring me to this world? Because you get so disappointed. And then the people are zappers, being like people, after meeting them, you say, I am the best thing after discovery of sliced bread. That is a zapper. So if you'd like to be in the company of the zappers, then you yourself should become a zapper, right? So when you become zapper, you have the energy, not by giving energy to the others, you're getting energy yourself. Critical thinking. And critical thinking is about asking the right questions. It's not about coming up with solutions. We have been taught in school that whoever answers first gets a higher grade. But the critical thinking is more about asking the right questions, questions that make you think, to penetrate, to analyze the situation, to come up with newer, out-of-box solutions. It's all about critical thinking. The other one is gratitude, is being grateful for the things that you have. You can build upon your financial freedom and prosperity on the foundation of gratitude. Whatever we are is not because of our own doing. It's because of a lot of people who have enabled us, people in our family, people in our friend community, people, our teachers, people we meet in our organizations and everything. So we have to have gratitude for everyone. That's the place where we should start from. Practicing your reaction to situation. Provide affirmation, because our mind is like a recorder, and the way things have been programmed into ourselves, we just react to situations in a particular way. So we have to take a break, need to understand what our reactions are, overstated. What are the reactions which are causing us problem in the pursuit of our goals in terms of financial freedom or whatever goals you have. It's a journey. It won't happen in a day. It will take time, but we will all be able to do it if we continue to consciously make an effort. Next one. And then the alpha, which is the motivator, and I think Desi did a super job of explaining it, that it's not just about motivation, but it's about taking action. Few limitations, and that's why I want to go to the joyful prosperity. One is fixed amount for cover for needs and inflation. That fixed amount is never, one thing is it's never enough, right? It keeps changing. Inflation can be high, low. Interest rates keep changing. Today, the interest rates in the US are the highest since 2001. Then you have inflation and location are important. So inflation can be high. It was in the US, it was above 9-10% at one point. Now it has been tapering down to 2 point some percent, still hasn't reached the 2%. Location, if you're living in Karachi or a Dhaka, or you're living in Switzerland, Geneva, it's very different, the amount of money that is needed. Freedom in relation to retirement. By retirement, if you're retiring at 65, already you have lost most of your life, right? God gave everyone like a long age, and I wish everyone lives 100 years or whatever, but it's not the same. So if you're waiting to enjoy life after retirement, then sorry, joyful living. And that's why I don't like the concept of financial freedom. And that's why I came up with joyful prosperity. So what did I do in the equation? I keep all these elements in the denominator, right? And I say all this has to help in life satisfaction. You have to enjoy every day. And you have to find the things that are important for you, taking the time out to do those things. And it is not like because your boss believes like this, what you believe, things actually provide you the highest satisfaction. I give you an example. 1 hour of breathing, which maybe like people say, okay, we breathe all day. What is amazing thing that you're doing? But conscious breathing for 1 hour, I spend a day. And one of the greatest things I've achieved, I believe, in the last so many years is for me is that flexibility of the time to do what I want to do. I do breathing 1 hour, then I do 1 hour of exercises every morning before my breakfast, right? That is a joy for me. Or making tea for my daughters is a joy. So the effort that you're taking in creating the money part the satisfaction has to be more than that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about, the 5 of the top 10 learnings. Now, in the book, you'll get a lot of stuff which are in detail, but in the interest of time, I try to just pick the few things. So the first thing what people talk about is like they say, be the best in what you do. I really love that. Good can be anything. Are you good on a family level? Are you good on a neighborhood level? Are you good on a community level? Are you good in a city? Are you the best in the country? Are you the best in the region? Are you the best in the world? It will also be in relation to how good you are and how good you are at creating value for the other people. When you work for a company, you have a position, whatever that position is, and they're paying you because you're creating much more value for the company. So how good you are, that's why it's so important to continuously hone in on our skills, to be the best in whatever we do, whatever that would be. And that we should make it as a way of life. Interactions we are having, we're completely engaged in that discussion. You're talking to your wife or your husband or your child, or you're talking to your friend. At that moment, that person exists and nothing else. Being into that moment, being great. So the person says that moment I spent with that person was like amazing. It was really good. And that you're creating, your space in a person's mind and heart. Second thing the people said is that, especially people who achieve joyful prosperity or financial freedom, they said that the whole intent from where it started was protection for the family. It all started that we don't want a family to go through some of the challenges that we went through when we were younger or when we were growing up. So we don't want to have those, and we provide the best of the best to our family. And that's motivation, or the fear positively acted in terms of them taking action. Another thing which people talked about was start early and be consistent. So the earlier we start, the better we would be in terms of achieving our goals. So even if you start putting smaller amounts and saving them and then putting it into any stock or putting it into whatever real estate, or it will grow exponentially over a period of 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years. The next one is risk management. And risk management, as it is taught, is not like don't take risk. Is having the analytical ability to assess the risk and reward of any investment, and working closely to mitigate the risk and to accentuate the upside potential. That's the beauty of a real good investor. And also making the upside come true. And the fifth one is develop a positive and value creation mindset. I cannot emphasize more that the best thing is working on yourself, and within yourself, it's on your mind, because that's what we are, mind. If your mind is your friend, you will be able to achieve anything. If your mind is not your friend, it can create a huge issue. There was a Russian writer. He said, the mind in its own right can make a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven, which can make you feel free, make you feel happy. It can make you feel sad out of no reason. So those are the 5 learnings I just shared out of the 10 that we have. And then the last thing I want to say is like what is to follow. If we have a next session, I want to thank all of you. And I just want to say that the journey may look far, but if you start progressing towards it and you bring about a change to yourself and you make that goal set for you, you'll be surprised how much progress you can make and how fast you can go towards that destination. But it is what you become in the process. That's the most important thing. It's what you're becoming. It's not about what you're having, but what you're becoming as an individual. Thank you so much.